Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. It is day 5 of the test match between India and New Zealand. And joining me today for the show is Ishan Shahane and Atreo, who's joining us from Bangalore. Right now, New Zealand only needs 107 runs to win, but the weather's not looking good because it's rained all night. This is what the ground looks like right now. It's all gloomy, overcast, the covers are still on. Atreo, tell us about the weather there because this is not good news.
Yeah, like every other day, today also will begin with this show with the weather update. And let me tell you, it's not looking great over here. As far as cricket is concerned, it's not looking good. It rained last night. It must have rained in the morning also. Although it's not raining at the moment, there is a forecast of rain from 10 or 11 a.m. onwards, which is about an hour away. And as we know, as we have seen that the pitch is still covered, a 9:15 a.m. start looks unlikely at the moment, according to me.
Yeah, that doesn't look good because covers are still on, and even though the drainage system is great, you can't help if it's raining. But
Yeah.
Ishan, what do you think? How do you think New Zealand is going to manage it? Is it going to help them? Is it going to not help them? Because the last time India played under similar conditions, batted under similar conditions, we know what happened.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be very easy, Kagi. I think when New Zealand come out to bat and if it's overcast with that new ball, I don't think it's going to be that easy to score runs. Obviously, 107 is not a massive total to chase down, but this is the last day, and obviously they'll have it in the back of their minds that it might possibly rain. So when they know that it might possibly rain and continue to rain, they might be playing aggressive cricket. And when you play aggressive cricket, you tend to also play, cricket which is not in the best fashion. You tend to play rash shots as well. So you never know. India wouldn't count themselves out of this game completely because it's possible. We've seen it. We've seen the Indian team collapse of 46 in the first inning. So definitely they can do the similar thing to New Zealand. It doesn't happen too often, but the Indian team will surely believe that they can because they have the bowlers. I think Gargi who can cause some trouble, and they'll really look to make the best use of out of the conditions that are at the moment present. So 107 seems pretty close, but it won't be that easy when they go out to bat, Gargi. I think if they lose few early wickets, then you never know because then suddenly all the pressure can come on the side knowing that it's only 107, they'll have the weight of expectations to see this test match through, and then we can see them possibly crumble. So I really hope actually that it does not rain because I think it can be a fascinating test match. I'm sure that a lot of people would hope that it rains so that India can draw this game out, but you never know with India. If they come out strong, they can also go and win this test match. It's unlikely, but you never really know.
Before I go to Atra on this, a little weather update from Shubhayan as well. He's saying that is it drizzling right now, Atra? Because Shubhayan
No,
is
it is
saying that
not.
the area nearby the stadium witnessed heavy rain early in the morning, and forecast for the day is obviously more rain. So
Yeah, forecast. There is more rain forecast for the day, but at the moment it is not. As we speak, I'm just opposite the stadium, opposite one of the gates. It's not
yeah,
raining at the moment.
but it looks like the covers are still on. But
Yeah,
Atra,
covers are still
similar
on.
question. Yeah, similar question to you as well. Do you think these conditions will help New Zealand? What are you expecting out of play today?
No, I think this is the best that India could have hoped for. I mean, if it doesn't rain, even if it doesn't rain, the the pitch and the adjoining areas will be there will be moisture, and there is no sun to dry that out. So seamers will get some help from the pitch, at least if play starts now. And as Ishan said, that 107 is not a very high target, not a great target. But if they lose a couple of early wickets, the pressure might be on them, and we might have a game on in that situation. So on paper, 107 is nothing. I mean, not a very intimidating target. If somebody plays a quick fire 40, it will be done. It will be achieved in no time probably. But it won't be easy, and Indians will back themselves to take a couple of wickets and then take it from there. I will give India a 20% chance.
India 20% chance.
Yeah,
Okay. But Ishan, if I were to ask you, what is the plan ahead for India? Jasprit Bumrah will come back, complete his over. After that, what do you think? Spinners on? Would you want to see more pacers taking on the day? What is your plan for it?
Agagi, I think Akash Deep would really be missed right now. If he was in this final session of play in the final day with these conditions, if you had three pacers, I really feel India would have had a more sense of confidence going into this day. They obviously still have it, but I think you're asking for right at the start, and I think it makes sense now having Akash Deep, especially in these conditions. On the final day, it makes sense to have had him in the side. Unfortunately, he's not part of the squad, so Bumrah will have to do a lot of the bowling. Unfortunately, just two seamers. This might hurt them under these conditions, but hopefully, they can come out there and try to deliver as fast as possible by getting those early wickets. Spinners will definitely have a role as well, but it's surely a fast bowler's wicket with the conditions at the moment. We saw it in the first day as well. The ball is seaming, swinging, bouncing. So Bumrah will definitely hold the key as always, and I think this Indian team will surely rely on him completely going into this final day.
Although you also believe Akash they would have been, the cherry on top in conditions like these?
He probably would have been, but there is no point in discussing that. What I do look forward to is, I remember that on the third morning, Bumrah and Siraj bowled unchanged for slightly over an hour when play started, and they were very incisive. They kept the batters quiet. The New Zealand batters they couldn't do anything against them for slightly over an hour. The runs started going up after the spinners came into the attack, and Rachin Ravindra got after them. But that 1 hour will give India a lot of encouragement. That 1 hour of bowling that
Yeah.
Bumrah and Siraj did, they beat the edge a number of times. They were unlucky to not pick up more than a wicket each in that spell. And there is plenty of encouragement from India for India from that spell by these two bowlers. So I expect these two to come out guns blazing and put the New Zealanders under pressure. It's important for India to take catches. If the bowlers get the edges, they should be caught. I mean, there shouldn't be any slip ups on that front. So yeah, Akashdeep would have been quite handy in this condition, but he's not there. So Bumrah and Siraj will have to take the initiative, and let's see how it goes.
Ishan, now when it comes to New Zealand, what do you think are the biggest threats for India from New Zealand? Uh, how do you bundle them out under 100? Is that
Well,
something that
yes, it's going to be difficult for sure. I think the first important key would be for this Indian side is to get early wickets. Because if you settle them in, if they manage getting some runs early on, then this game is practically lost. Because if they get a small partnership as well in the beginning, Gagi, this game can be lost very soon. So it's the case for the Indian side to come in and get early wickets as fast as possible. Obviously, it's much easier said than done, but it's going to be hard for them to do that. So I think the basic formula would be get the top three or four batters out as fast as possible. And obviously, Rachin Ravindra, who is in such great form, he'll have to be dismissed as well. After that splendid 100, he will be in great confidence to see his team through today, Gagi. So hopefully, the Indian team will look to get early wickets and look to break through that batting lineup as well. Having mentioned that, New Zealand is a team that bats pretty deep as well. Even Tim Southee got runs. Ijaz Patel looked pretty solid. He didn't get too many runs in the first innings, but he seemed like someone who could bat. And now these are factors that can work against India. So they'll have to bowl smart, they'll have to bowl well, and they'll have to get those early wickets.
Athro, same question to you. New Zealand bat till 8-9. Is it possible to bundle them out under 100 runs?
I didn't get the question. Once again, please.
What is the strategy to take 10 wickets before they reach 100 runs? Because they bat deep. New Zealand bat deep.
Yeah, New Zealand bat deep, and India do not. I mean, India did not in this match, unfortunately, because they at one point in time yesterday they were in a position to take a lead of around say 170, 175 runs, and they fell well short of that in the end, and that is where New Zealand still made a difference in the first innings. If you remember the 8 wicket partnership of 100 plus between Saudi and Rachin Ravindra. So New Zealand bat deep, and India not doing that. India unable to do that in the second innings might cost them. I mean, some might have to pay a price for that. because at one point in time it looked that India will get in the region of 500 or slightly more. That didn't happen, and when you are defending 107, it's not a question of how deep the opponent bats. You have to take 10 wickets. I mean, whether the opponent bats deep or whether the opponent doesn't bat deep, there is no other way. There is no alternative. So Indians will have to attack and keep. I mean, while placing the. I mean, while as far as field placement is concerned, it has to be kind of a. I mean, they can't be over attacking. I mean, if there are plenty of gaps in the field, the ball field or the force will come start flowing. So that will also be a key task for the captain. And having said that, I mean, India have nothing else to do. So there is no other option. You have to go for the kill.
Ishan, talking about looking back on the last innings that we saw, how much of a difference, did Ravindra Jadeja and Ashwin's failure make? Not failure, but they weren't able to really make that impact. We have seen them do that multiple times before, but they failed to do that this time around. Do you think if we had that one innings, one partnership from Jadeja and Ashwin, things could
Yeah.
have been a lot more different?
Surely, I think we were ahead of the game. We weren't ahead of the game, but we were getting back into the game in a big margin with Safra scoring those runs, and New Zealand was under pressure. They were, I think India had reached a total of around somewhere around 400 for the loss of three, and then they suddenly lost all those wickets. So definitely a failure in that part there. But even KL Rahul, we keep speaking about him. He's a quality act, and I like to see him score runs. But unfortunately, this it's not happening for him, Gagi. And he, being a prominent batter, has to score runs. We speak about Ashwin. Ashwin definitely has the responsibility of scoring runs as well. But he's a bowling all rounder at the end of the day. And because he's managed scoring so many runs, we tend to rely on him as well. But KL Rahul, who is your batting, who's supposed to bat for you, who's supposed to score runs for you in these situations, is failing. So I think the failure on my part is with KL Rahul. If he managed scoring some runs like how the rest of the batters contributed, this well and truly could have been India's game all throughout, going into this final day. But with him falling short, with him scoring this 12, I feel has hurt India's chances a lot. Because most of the batters have scored runs, Gagi, and with that momentum that was created with Safraz getting those runs, with Kohli in the like in the previous day as well, the platform was set. KL Rahul had to go out there and get some sort of runs, at least a solid 40, 45, which possibly could have been more stability to that Indian innings.
Atreyo, we have a question here from Nimish. He's asking, it's not raining, but still covers are not being removed. What's the reason?
I think the reason is precautionary because I think the umpires are not happy with the state of the outfield and they don't want to start the game immediately. So as long as they are not starting the game, I think that is why they have put the covers on. Because it's not raining at the moment, as I said. I think when the umpires decide to start play, the covers will be removed. Because I think it rained early in the morning also. So that is why I think the outfield is wet in some parts. So that is why they are not beginning the match now, and that is why they have not removed the covers. They will once the umpires decide to start play, they will remove the covers.
Absolutely, and these are the visuals from the match, from the stadium. Sorry, from inside the stadium. As you can see, the covers are still on. Shubhayan has just sent us these visuals. There's the team. There's the Indian team. But another question, not question, but comment here is saying if India would have given 180 to 200 target, this match would have no, this match would have easily been won by India, but unfortunately, first innings was the blunder. But Atreyo, Ishan, question to you both. Even if we leave aside the first innings, there was a chance for India to make a comeback, wasn't there?
Definitely, Gagi, there was a chance, and they were making the comeback. It just comes back to the same point that when you were in the game, when you had made a strong comeback, and everyone started believing that this could be an historic test win. You let it go eventually after the fall of so many wickets. So first innings blunder, definitely a few more runs over there would have helped. And also in the second innings, when you were back in the game, when Safras had gotten those runs, you should have pushed on and completely taken New Zealand out of the equation. You let them come back with the inclusion of the new ball, and that's when New Zealand came back in after getting those wickets with the new ball. So it is a blunder. It's something the Indians will be disappointed, but obviously it's a strong fight back. But this game could have well and truly been on India's side going into the final.
Yes, and finally, question to you both. Now that it's day five, predictions: who is winning?
After that, uh, I go ahead and take it.
It's still New Zealand's match to lose.
It's
I mean, what we have ignored a few times, what we have not discussed, that it's been a fascinating test match, by the way. 46
yeah.
all out. Other team who gets in excess of 400, and then this rapid batting by Sarfaraz and Pant before that Virat Kohli. It's been a very fascinating test match. But at the moment, having weighed the pros on cons, I would say it's New Zealand's match to lose.
Ishan?
Yeah, definitely. I think New Zealand have the upper hand. They should be able to get through the line here, unless it's a splendid bowling performance by the Indian team. But I feel New Zealand will go on to win.
Okay. Well, for now, it looks like play will be delayed because the covers are still on. And Atru and Shubhayan will be bringing you all the updates. We'll be back at lunch as well to join you and discuss with you all. But thank you so much for joining.